Right then, Manchester United hosting Fulham on Friday night at Old Trafford under the floodlights. It's going to be a cracker. I'm excited. You're excited. Will Ligt make his debut? Will Mazraoui make his debut? Will Zirkzee make his debut? I'm going to run through my predicted starting 11, take a look at what Fulham have done in this preseason, who they've signed, what their formation was, and we can speak about it. I'm excited. You're excited. You let me know your prediction in the comments. I'll give mine at the end of the preview. And make sure you drop a like on the video. Look, let's try and reach 5,000 likes in this video. Sometimes I say this at the start of the video. It'll be interesting to see if we can do it. I am looking forward to it. Football always had this incredible ability to give you renewed hope going into a new season. But United genuinely have reason to have new hope going into the season. With all the football structure changes, 2 new assistants, 4 new signings. There's a different feeling going around Man United. Now, will that lead to a positive result? We will find out. But Fulham, what have Fulham been doing this preseason? Let's have a look at their transfers. One big signing for them is Emil Smith-Rowe, who started in the last game of the preseason against Hoffenheim. Cuenca came in at centre-back, but a big departure for them, of course, has been Palhinha. And Tosin left on a free to join Chelsea too. Both of those starting 11 players. And they currently haven't replaced Palhinha in midfield, which is certainly going to be a good thing for United. If you take a look at how they lined up in their last game of the preseason, Emil Smith-Rowe was in there, got himself a goal. Wingers, Adama Traore and Alex Iwobi. It's going to be an interesting, pacey one. Andreas Pereira there in the number 10 role and Rodrigo up front. There's a lot of questions to ask about United, right? Let's skip to the formation here, right? So this was Manchester United's team that played against City in the Community Shield. You can see all the players are going to be missing with injury here. Højlund, Yoro, Malacia and Shaw. But anyway, we've got some new signings in. Over that side, Ligt and Mazraoui. And I think there's going to be some changes, all right? There's definitely going to be some changes. And could both of these make their debut? Now, we know full well that Ligt has been training. We know full well that Mazraoui has been training. And I hesitate to predict. I don't hesitate to predict. It's completely opposite. Because I'm predicting it. I think we get a massive shift in the whole defence against Fulham, right? Martinez going back into the position where he should play. I don't really want to ever see him playing out there. I want to see Ligt in there. And I think the question, which has kind of fairly been put to me, is saying, Sam, is Mazraoui a left back or is Mazraoui a right back? Mazraoui can play both of them, okay? It's part of the reason why Erik ten Hag saw him as such an important signing. Dalot can also play that inverted left-back role, and so can Mazraoui. It may well be that they chop and change, not mid-game. I don't really know who's going to start out on the left, but I would predict to see this man make his debut, and I'm very, very excited about it. So long as he's fit, might get to half 4 this afternoon, and we find out that Delict's not quite ready and Mazraoui's not ready. If they're both hypothetically not ready, then you're probably going to be looking at a back 4 like we saw against City in the FA Cup, Community Shield. Martinez out on the left, Evans and Maguire in the middle. It will probably be the same back 5 if these 2 players aren't fit and ready. But I really hope they are. Ligt in particular is just somebody who, if it works out, and this is all the caveat, but if it does work out, he is going to be a hell of a signing for this club. And Mazraoui, just stay fit, bro. Stay fit, and then we're going to have a conversation about the impact you could have. Let's move forward into midfield. And Kobbie Mainoo's definitely starting this game. All right? Of course he is. And I think Casemiro is too. I don't think there's going to be a change to the midfield setup we started with against City. Now, with Casemiro, right? I think everybody knows my opinion on him. I've already said it in the last show enough times by now. I'd rather we had moved him on and we had someone else in there like Ugarte, but that's not happening right now. So Casemiro, come on, man. Find your form. Find that fitness. He looked probably the best game in pre-season was against City, to be fair. So that's a good thing coming into this game in terms of momentum. Playing in a midfield 2 alongside Mainoo is such a better shape for him rather than the exposed system where we had one number 6 last season. But I need to see more from Casemiro. But Casemiro and Mainoo, I think, will be those starting 2 in midfield. And it's when you move into attack that I think you've got the most questions, really, about this start. Well, that's a lie. You've got questions about whether 2 or 3 of the defenders are going to play. But in attack, right, we go back to the City game, and Bruno and Mount started as the 2 false 9s. And I just see this system and shape being something that United use as our main tactic this season. It doesn't mean that we'll stay. You know what it is with Erik ten Hag systems, right? And it makes it a little bit complicated. We do have that we had that rotational system. You might end up seeing Mazraoui cutting inside with Mainu going forward, and Mazraoui comes in as that side, and then Martinez drops wide, and then Ligt comes into the middle, and all of a sudden you're like, who's playing where? And sometimes the rotations can feel a little bit too much. And I hope United sort of get that balance right, because rotational teams are harder to sort of defend against, but also sometimes you get pulled out of shape. Bruno starting this game. It's who his partner is going to be the interesting one, because, right, will we see the debut of Joshua Zirkzee? If he's completely fit, then yes, I think you would. You basically see Mount dropping out and Zirkzee coming in. And I'm telling you, that front four there, we'll have a conversation about Rashford and Garnacho next. But that's exciting, man. I really hope he's fit to start. I really hope he's fit to play. We're yet to see him, but I really want to see what he brings to this team. And in the false nine position, I think it suits him. But if he's not going to make his debut because he's not fit, I think you're probably going to see Mount and Bruno both starting there, just like they did against City. And then we come on to the, look, right, I don't personally think this is a question. Ahmad starting on the right-hand side. Done and dusted. Next, move on, because he deserves it, and there's certainly nobody else who deserves it more than he does. It's who starts on that left wing. Now, Erik ten Hag started Rashford against City. He's looked sharp in this pre-season, but he's still that final cutting edge. Ahmad's position on that right-hand side, he can't play on the left in the way that Garnacho can. Garnacho can float between the two, and I'm still kind of torn as to what position is going to be the best for Garnacho over the course of his career. But I think we're going to see Garnacho start on the left in this game. I think you're going to see that as the front four. Garnacho, Mount, Bruno, and Ahmad. And I'll be honest, that team right there, that team excites me. It really, really does. I think that 4-2-4 shape suits us. Also gives us two in the middle. We won't get an isolated central midfielder. We'll have the ability now, much more of an ability to play out from the back with the ball with that back five. Should be significantly better. You won't see Casemiro or Mainu isolated in midfield. And with that front four staying in a straight line, dropping the heavy front press will come. I think one of the big triggers for Manchester United with the pressing trigger is when the ball goes backwards. Or maybe not just backwards, maybe backwards to the goalkeeper. But if the ball goes backwards, you will see Mount push forward. You see Bruno push forward. And everybody will push forward in unison. And what didn't happen last season, which will happen this season, you will see the fullbacks supporting the press a lot more. You'll see Ligt and Martinez being able to cover these spaces more on their own. And United should have a far better shape in and out of possession. But in terms of the result of this game, I got it so spot on with the City one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 United. Keep that clean sheet. Show that new defensive ability we've got with our new signings. I want to see Ligt keep a clean sheet. Let's find out. Well, obviously, that's not going to be the actual formation, but you get the point here. Let me put it all back into shape. I'm going to go for a 1-0. All right? I'm excited, really excited to see what this team does. I don't know what to expect, but it's been a bit of a mixed preseason. I think it's a fair thing to say. I like the performance against City, and for me, that shape is our shape this season. I already covered it in my tactical analysis video. But what's your prediction? You let me know in the comments. United against Fulham, 8 p.m, Old Trafford, Friday. The Premier League is nearly back, and we are first up.